What's poppin' YouTube? Before this video starts, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but one of my videos just hit 1 million views for the first time. This is the first time I've reached 1 million views, so I want to show my appreciation. I will be giving away a signed certified AK Supreme bag, and to win this bag, all you have to do is like this video, comment on this video, and share it to 3 people. And when you have done that, comment done, and I will be picking one person. I'm sorry guys, I only have one bag, but I will be picking one person. And yeah guys, if you want to win it, like I said, all you have to do is like the video, comment, share it to 3 people, and comment done. And yeah.
What's poppin' YouTube? It's your boy AK, and I'm back for another video. I will be going over 1,000 unreleased documents that the CIA just released, so this is very important. I'm making this video so you guys are aware of the situation, and I also have Joe with me, so he'll be helping me go over the documents and all the stuff we need to go through.
So let's get right into it. So have you heard of Iranian and Asian? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, you know, Israeli name,
Yeah.
Israeli guy.
I think I have heard of him, Joe.
Okay, so this guy, right, he's a former head of Israel's Defense Ministry's Space Directorate. Okay, so this guy knows what he's talking about.
Really?
Yeah, and this guy actually published a book, and he said that Trump not only knows about aliens, but he knows that there's 4 species and they're in contact with them. And
How recent is this book, Joe? I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, this is December. This just dropped. Yeah, this just came out.
Oh man, of like 2020.
Great story.
Last
Look this guy up. Really.
Wow. So
Anyways,
this is recent, guys.
Yeah.
This is very recent.
Yeah. Anyways, so, you know, and you guys are probably thinking, this guy's a whack job, right? You know, he's coming out saying that aliens are real. Okay, so this guy, let me just make this a little clearer. He knows, like, okay, so not only was he the former, you know, basically head of NASA for Israel, but this guy's also a retired general and a respected professor. And this guy isn't even the first government official to say that. You know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay,
So how many
so-
representatives?
So Canada, right? Everybody knows Canada.
Yeah.
You know, love Canada, right?
Of course.
Not too many whack jobs in Canada, you'd say so, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in 1986, the Canadian Minister of Defense, the manager of the army, so to speak, came out and said, aliens are real. Well, that's exactly what happened in Canada. This guy, Paul Hellyer, he was, like I said, the Minister of Defense. He was an engineer. This guy knew what he was talking about. This guy comes out and says the same thing that Haim Eshed has said, but the catch, 20 to 30 years earlier, before any of this. So, I don't know how you're feeling, man.
Yeah, man, and I also have something to add. I recently saw, it was crazy. I forgot where I saw it. It was like a cube come out of the sea, and it was just in the air. I feel like we should roll that clip and just
Oh
show
yeah,
it.
yeah. We'll pull that picture up right now. Right here. That's what they look like, man.
Yeah.
What is that? Couldn't tell
No
you.
idea.
But this is taken from an F-35 fighter jet by a pilot, and it is not easy to become a pilot in the Air Force, especially with an F-35. You need to be top of the
Joe, what do you think that is, man? You have any like?
All right, so we'll get into that with some of the leaked documents, the technology that kind of enables this, because our scientists are actually starting to crack the code. For
Yeah, the new element.
From what I'm hearing, that's actually not a big part of it. Most of it's something with superconductors and electromagneticity. So
Some
we'll get
non-familiar human elements, basically. That's what
no, actually very. I mean, you do have to use exact, but it's a very common scientific principle. Superconductors are actually a huge part of, you know, really high quality computers. You know, what do you think? What are you thinking?
Honestly, Joe, I feel like that's a whole spaceship, man.
Oh, it definitely
Like,
is.
there's definitely beings inside that.
Not only is this thing just whack, you know, this thing's standing motionless in the air, completely motionless, in a jet stream, right? Not only that, but it flew out of the ocean. I can't tell you what anything that could do.
Honestly,
that
there has to be someone manning that cube. Like, there's no other way. The cube's not alive, obviously. Like,
yeah.
Or maybe it is. You never know. Like,
we have
honestly,
no idea. That's the
no
thing.
idea at all.
It's like magic, man.
Honestly, like, it's non-familiar to humans, and I feel like the word needs to just spread out, and just people should really take this serious. I feel like.
Yeah. Anyways, so let's get into these declassified
Yeah,
documents.
that's what I was just about to say.
Looking forward to.
I know
That's
that
what we
people
gotta
are
do.
looking forward to the documents, the unclassified ones, so we just need to
Alright.
show them.
So I actually had to filter through around 1,000 declassified CIA documents, and these are some of the most interesting. Now, of course, there are some that I didn't get to. There are some great ones out there, but we are going to just focus on these because that's what I was able to find looking through it. All right, so for the first one, we got a UFO sighting in Morocco.
Wait. Hey, Bobby, give me the evidence, man. We need the evidence. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you.
Go sit down, man.
Hey, take a seat, man.
Take a seat. Don't be doing anything crazy.
Take a seat.
All right, we just.
All right.
You can make it too crazy, man. We just gotta get into this.
All right, so let's get back into it. We're sorry about that distraction.
So sorry, guys.
All right. So, okay, so we've got the UFO sighting in Morocco. This isn't just something unsupported. This is sent to the CIA and they're investigating this.
Multiple witnesses.
There's not that much details in there. It just says that they investigated in Morocco. But next we have something crazy, right?
Mind-blowing.
And they're talking about, and this is over a city. An object described as a star went over the Soviet, Russian now city, and it was shining down. And this is according to the witnesses, and this was a whole city that witnessed this. There was very fine, like rays of light. Do you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
I'll play the clip so they know what you're talking about.
Okay, the best way I could explain it, is how when it's raining, right?
Yeah, of course.
You can see the light in the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be like almost exactly raindrops, but they're just like light raindrops.
Yeah.
Like light bulbs falling.
This light apparently looked like pouring rain, and this lasted for 10 to 12 minutes over the city, and then it took off. Anyways, I don't know what you're thinking about that, man.
Honestly, man.
I don't really think that's something
that sounds like some magic or some like witchery or something.
Must be aliens, man.
Honestly,
That's for
it
sure.
must be aliens, guys.
And then, next, we're going into. It says that there were 3 UFOs, multicolored, red, green, and yellow, flying over Deception Island, which not a lot of people know. This is actually an Antarctic island, and this was spotted. This isn't just some one person who said, "Oh yeah, man, I saw a UFO." This is multiple military bases belonging to multiple countries.
So it was multiple credited witnesses, basically.
Hundreds.
Hundreds.
A whole base worth. You got Chilean, British, and Argentinian military bases. I don't know how you're feeling about that, man.
Honestly, if they were credited witnesses, like people working for the U.S., then I feel like how isn't that true? If you have multiple people that work for our country, they wouldn't just say that just like falsely, They would just honestly feel like that was true, that they obviously saw something, a group of people saw something. So that's how I'm feeling about that, man. Like, there was definitely something in the sky that night.
Yeah,
Definitely.
true. Red, green, and yellow orbs flying.
Honestly,
Man, I don't think that's a plane.
Definitely not a plane.
And then next, this is another one of the documents. All of these have been documents from the files that were released, and these are recently released.
Multiple.
So the next actually is an Iranian UFO report in 1957 over the capital, Tehran. And that, not really much to that, but you got to keep in mind, this made it to the CIA.
Honestly, it obviously brought their attention, and they had documents of it hidden. So it must have been something big.
And everything that has made it to this stage, they've already cross-referenced with flight paths, weather balloon paths, anything that could possibly be a UFO. They have made sure that it is not anything we have. The next file is actually 6,000 sightings of UFOs. Yeah, 6,000 sightings across Taiwan and China. And this is old. This is from the 60s, man.
The 60s?
Well, yeah. Like 1957 to be specific. Yeah. No, that's 80 years ago, man.
Oh, jeez. You're talking 1800s.
1960s.
The people need to hear this. They need to be aware of the skies, They need to watch for some alien craft. Maybe they'll see something. They'll be like, oh, I watched Certified AK's video and he was talking about it, and then look what happened. You know what I'm saying? These people have to understand that this is real information that we're spilling to you guys.
So the next one, like I said, we're getting a little crazier here. So this is USSR. This is all of the Soviet Union's UFO research. Now, it alleges that UFOs behave sensibly, maintaining patterns, because, the theory was that they had been weather phenomenon leading, because this is an older paper. This dates back to around the 50s, I believe. And they actually noticed, they said, these are maintaining patterns, these are not just moving randomly. And another thing that they noticed was a majority of sightings actually took place over airfields and atomic related, as in like nuclear reactors, nuclear missile silos, all sorts of anything atomic. That's where the majority of sightings actually occurred. And they noticed that these things, they actually have the ability to dodge. They can not only detect but dodge any intercepting aircraft that were sent after them. In the Soviet Union, they were on par with the United States. They weren't chasing this with propeller planes. They were chasing this with almost modern day fighter jets. And another thing that's really interesting in that report actually is that they bring up older reports in, say, I'm talking about from the 19th century and 20th century, early 20th century, as in 1913. The one in 1913 says that there was a procession of bodies flying over the sky, and the one in 1882 says that there was a large saucer. Now, I don't know what to make of that, man. Ancient UFOs, not ancient.
If they were that long ago, imagine the reports now.
Yeah. That's... Well, here's the thing. They actually said that, a lot of what they said back then actually matches with what they're saying today.
It would make
all
sense.
The sightings, yeah. And,
multiple sightings, just like every day.
This was, like I said, a lot of the USSR's UFO research. And, there's one additional segment that was pretty interesting that I got out of there. And that was that, separate researchers, government-paid researchers actually concluded that the Tunguska meteor, which was a huge explosion in Russia, dating back to, I believe, 1882, or...
It was,
I gotta check
83,
that.
I believe.
Yeah, I gotta check that. But anyways, so they concluded that this Tunguska meteorite was actually artificial and found evidence of extraterrestrial matter, meaning something that's not from this planet in a peat bog in the surrounding swamp.
So, in more words, not created yet. Us humans did not create the substance that was found.
Yeah. Well, nothing. It was from another planet, is what they're saying. Now, could it have been an asteroid because of that?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, but these are government researchers, and they ruled out the option of it being a meteoroid or a comet because of its trajectory and the way it exploded.
Exactly.
Next one is insane. All right,
excited, man.
So
let's dive in.
This one's crazy. So in Mexico, actually, we have a policeman who saw a huge blue and red fire. Right? On a hill.
It just sounds exotic. Blue and red fire.
Yeah, like blue-orange. You don't see that.
You don't at all.
And this is a huge fire, and he goes, immediately, he goes into pursuit. He drives over there because it's right next to a fireworks store. This is at around, sunset, right when it's turning dark out. And he notices that there's this little metallic object that he thinks is a car that's on fire. It looked like aluminum, he said. So he goes down, it's beneath the hill, and he goes down there to check that out. And, he calls the dispatcher, he says, we've got a motor vehicle accident, he's got it, and, he goes to further check it out, and all of a sudden he hears a roar, man.
A roar?
Yeah, what are you?
A roar! Or like, what kind of roar?
Like a jet engine firing up almost.
Geez.
So you're walking, he thinks it's a bomb, man, he's running away, but you tell me, man, you see that?
Honestly, I'm fleeing the scene.
Yeah, I'm Usain Bolt, man.
Honestly, I'm out of there, man.
Exactly. Anyways, so he's running, man, and he looks back and he notices that it's flying with the same blue and red fire, blue-orange fire. And this thing, went from, and he said it looked like a metal football, about 6 meters long.
Football.
Yeah.
Jeez, man, I wonder what he saw.
Yeah, exactly. So there's actually a picture of the schematic of it, which we'll pull up.
Yeah, we'll just throw it in there.
Yeah.
I didn't know there's a picture, but there's a picture, guys, and you guys will be able to see what he's explaining.
Anyway, so this thing, it takes off, and all of a sudden, it just goes to space.
To space. The sky, man, it was out of there.
Yeah. So, in another interesting note that he said is, it was completely smooth, just metal football, right? But it had this red insignia on it, like this red symbol with like a dot and a semicircle over it.
It's probably like a mark or like some kind of symbol
yeah,
for a clan or something.
Couldn't tell you, man, but
there's definitely more species besides humans. Like, I feel like us humans, we're not even that intelligent, honestly, because if we're finding things that we haven't even thought of, that weren't even created on this planet, there must be beings that's smarter than us, that's more advanced than us, that's probably more advanced cities, flying cars maybe, we call them cars, but flying mobility things, but we never know. I feel like there's so many more species than just us humans, and I feel like that's what kids and people have to understand.
Definitely, man, definitely. But we're actually going to get into this later. Humans are beginning, according to these documents, Russia has already figured this all out. So we're going to get into that later.
Oh,
we got
I thought it was China that had figured it.
Yeah,
Russia or China.
China and Russia are actually loosely, they were closer allies, especially in the USSR era, right?
Yeah.
Because they were both communist nations.
Definitely, yeah, of course.
So I think that they could have, exchanged technology, but that's
never
beside
know.
the point. We're just going to stick with what's factual and what's from these
documented
reports.
in.
Yeah, exactly. So for the next one, there was actually a pilot over the Belgian Congo in Africa who had pursued a flying saucer. Two of them actually.
Crazy guy.
He chased them.
Crazy.
And he says, they just sprint away. Seriously, he was chasing them for about 10 to 12 minutes, and all of a sudden they just gas it with his face. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez. I'd love to see that. Like, I've never encountered anything like
this
that.
is a pilot, right? So he knows but he was actually able to produce detailed, kind of like schematics for this as well.
Really?
Yeah. So let's get into my favorite part, of this whole, series of documents.
The Russian research.
Yeah, the Russian research, man. So the USSR, right? What this says is that in 1992, the USSR was actually conducting experiments, and they had figured out how UFOs actually fly.
Really?
Yeah, not only how to fly through air, but how to fly through water too.
Water.
Using like
The sea, it can fly down there with
that's
the
what
sharks,
the
bro?
cube UFO. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The cube UFO actually came from the ocean. Anyway, so one of the craziest things is this scientist, right, who is behind this guy apparently had made if this is true, this is the biggest breakthrough.
I mean, it's documented,
in physics,
so it must be true.
Yeah, in the document they're saying they have a saucer-like body made of a cooled superconductor sailing freely in a magnetic field. And for those of you, if you don't know this, Earth is surrounded by a magnetic field.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. And that's actually what prevents it prevents a couple of things. Basically it prevents our atmosphere from just flying away, and the sun from killing us. So it's underappreciated, to say the least. Anyways, so
I feel like people don't appreciate the little things, man. Like the oxygen we breathe, the technology we have.
Anyways, so in here they not only go into like how they would fly around the atmosphere, but they're already talking about interstellar flight. They say that this thing could reach the speed of light in a year, as opposed to 1,000 years to reach the quarter of the speed of light, right?
Now that's
so this is
fast.
This
Pretty fast.
would be the fastest thing to ever be made by anybody. To ever, this is, like I said, this is borderline magic in these physics. If this is true, this is not understood whatsoever by mainstream science.
People just aren't aware of this, I feel like.
What makes this all possible, they go into the physics briefly. And the scientist behind this is Vasily Shabatnik. So he says that they discovered a new superconductor that can operate at 800 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. I read about this actually.
Yeah, current superconductors can only be used at around negative 80 degrees Celsius, which means you need like liquid nitrogen. Now that's not practical for an airplane or something that's going to be going through the atmosphere, because obviously things heat up very quickly. It's actually there's two documents related to this, but it all gets left off at 1992, which is the weird part. And the craziest thing about this document is that not only are they talking about UFOs, but they're talking about infinite energy as well. They're talking about taking the energy from basically the atom itself not like splitting the atom, but using the energy of the atom. So
You
now
know,
combustion.
when I think about that whole infinite energy, I feel like that's already been a thing, and humans just hasn't discovered it. You know what I mean? Like there's
Obviously, yeah,
multiple scientists that haven't discovered these flying ships that these aliens drive, and it's just. I feel like people should know that they're way smarter.
Everybody look up Bob Lazar. Joe Rogan.
Bob Lazar, right
Bob
now.
Lazar. Shout out to Joe Rogan.
Sad to see it. Our scientists are not on top of their game, I feel like. And if they might have
I
classified
don't
things,
think it's like that.
I feel like they have classified things that they just don't let out.
People forget that 300 years ago. Look at
I know. Like,
look at how far we've come.
Humans have like progressed a little bit.
A little.
I'm talking like I'm ready to see humans produce flying cars, highways in the skies. Floating highways. I know that there's multiple species far, far away that has like an advanced way of living. I feel like.
Oh, definitely. But one more interesting thing from this report. This is up until this point in the report, it's all given to you as hypothetical. But in one of the last paragraphs of the report, it actually mentions that the the person interviewing the scientist asks, so this is purely hypothetical, right? And to this, the scientist actually replies, no, this has been proven in experiments.
Proven fact.
Yeah. So you tell me, man.
Honestly, man, I'm just mind blown. I'm sure that people are mind blown too. This is definitely a lot of information to really just think about, and just think about if it could be possible or not, and why the CIA is just now releasing this information for us people to research and look at. It's just a lot of questions, a lot of questions. There's people on this earth that know things that a lot of people do not, and that is not okay. I feel like definitely not okay.
I just feel, I gotta say, it is an amazing time to be alive, though.
Really?
These next 30 years are gonna bring some unprecedented developments.
Are we in like the new age? What's it called again?
I'm sorry. What are you talking about?
The new age you were showing me like yesterday, dude. Like 2021.
Well, we gotta get into that in another video.
Different video, yeah, definitely. But yeah, there's crazy things happening right about now.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward. I got my calendar set for June. Man, I don't know about you, but this is like Christmas for me.
Honestly, man.
We grew up in a really UFO positive age.
Yeah, definitely.
Where it's encouraged to look at it as UFOs are real, aliens are real, and I feel like for everybody in our generation, this is something that we've all knew was going to happen.
Exactly.
And it's finally coming true.
And honestly, if your kids like us, then you should feel great. Like this, your parents didn't have this around. They didn't have the technology we have now in the present. They didn't have all the research that we are presenting to you guys. So if you're a kid, just enjoy it. Enjoy watching the lights in the sky. It's probably gonna be happening pretty soon. Like maybe a galactic Federation war. You never know, man. Like you never know. So
yeah,
honestly, I think that was it for this video. We have multiple videos like this coming. If you guys would like to see that, make sure you let us know in the comments if you'd like to see more videos like this, more podcast style videos like this. And I think that's a wrap, man.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say to the people?
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. See you guys in the next banger.
I do not rap, my life is no cab. I went through her phone while she sat on my lap. I don't got a dad, but I got a mom. I love her so much. This is for mom. This ain't the wave, no, this not her busy. I started my YouTube, and no, it ain't easy. No, it ain't easy. My flow is so cheesy. I pulled up before, and now I'm so sleepy. AK the name, and that's what I claim. Finna dip a gun country and change my name. I do not rap, my life is no cab. I went through her phone while she sat on my lap. I don't got a dad, but I got a mom. I love her so much. This is for mom. This ain't the wave, no, this not her busy ass. Started my YouTube, and no, it ain't easy. No, it ain't easy. My flow is so cheesy. I pulled up before, and now I'm so sleepy. AK the name, and that's what I claim. Finna dip a gun country and changing my name.